Here's a very nice Harman Kardon AVR-146 receiver. It's about 15, maybe 17 years old, still in a great shape. It still has the film on the faceplate here, so it's peel off. When I peel it off, it's going to look like brand new. And the problem is pretty common. The problem is that you have the amber light on the power switch, you turn it on, and it will not light up, but in a moment, in a few seconds, the power switch will go back to amber and off. And if you have this kind of receiver with this kind of problem, what you may do is do the following. Open it up and measure the resistance on your primary winding of the power transformer. That winding has a serious thermal fuse which may be broken, because this seems to be quite a common problem with these Harman Kardon receivers with the hollow knob right here. So I'm going to fix it. Now I found that the main transformer in my unit has an open circuit on the primary winding, and the winding goes directly deep between the windings on the transformer. So I'm going to remove some of these plastic ribs with my Dremel and see if I can gain access to that thermal fuse and then be able to replace it. If you try to remove these ribs, make sure you don't go too deep and make sure you don't damage any of the windings. However, once you make the incision, it's easy enough to wedge a screwdriver, turn it, and then the ribs will break off. So hopefully I will be able to gain access. As you see, it's not so bad. So let me go grab the pliers and remove them. The plastic ribs have been removed, 5 of them, and now we have access to the primary winding, which is closer to the core. And outside there is another winding, which means that the access to that thermal fuse would be only from here. There's no easy access from the outside because you have a winding covered with the blue insulation, the secondary winding, which you have to leave intact. So I'm going to dig a little deeper and hopefully find a way to gain access to that fuse and hopefully replace it. Here's something interesting I found. I tried to measure the resistance between the red wire. I made a little inserts so I could connect my ohm meter right here. And if I measure resistance between the red and this winding coming out right here, which I pricked with a needle through the enamel, I get 2.2 ohms resistance, which seems to be correct for this size of a transformer. For comparison, I have another transformer about half the size, and the primary winding is 3.8 ohms. So this would probably be correct, to tell me that this winding right here coming out, which I have access to, and I can actually cut it off and solder my own thermal resistor to that and run the black wire from there, which I intend to do if I don't get easier access to the thermal fuse. But I can cut it off, solder to that wire, and then have the transformer working again. So this will be the next step. This is the closest I could get to the thermal fuse without risking any damage to the transformer. And you can see the ending of it right here on over the hook. And this is connected. It's actually soldered to the winding that you see right here on the top. So what I'm going to do, use this little loop and solder the black wire, which is right now open, solder it to here, and that way I can test the receiver. If it works, I'll put in series a different thermal fuse. It will be 150 Celsius and 5 amps. But I need to order one like that. But anyway, for testing, this will be good. I cut the black wire See, it has no connection at all, so it's staying here. And I soldered the other end to the end of the thermal fuse, which is broken open, and also this is connected to the ending of the winding, the primary winding of the transformer, and this is done only for test. However, this is perfectly safe. It's not going to short with any other part of the circuitry. It's perfectly safe and can be tested right now. So I'm going to put it back, connect it, and see what happens. I reconnected the transformer, and you can see the hole where the damage occurred, and the black wire is soldered directly to the top of that thermal fuse, which is open, which is broken. And now we have everything reconnected properly in all the sockets. It's kind of easy to follow, but if you have a problem, you may check the resistance across these two main wires, the black and red. And if this is open, that means that the thermal fuse is gone, and you may look into that. But we are ready for the moment of truth, so let me just plug it in and turn off the light so we can see the control lights right here. And we have the amber light by the power switch. So let's just hit it and see what happens. Well, it's alive because the knob, oh, here you go. The display is lit, the knob is blue, and if you turn it, we have the decibels. It's beautiful. Well, it works. So if you have this kind of problem with the amber going to blue, back to amber, then you may check the main transformer, this guy. There's a little transformer in the back, which is for the standby. They usually don't go bad, but the big guy has a problem which seems to be very common with this family of receivers. Well, good luck everyone. Please give this video a thumbs up, so that way the algorithm will promote the video and somebody else may benefit from the instruction.